Air Force has placed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, integrity, and abilities of Major Tony Lawrence. In view of these special qualities and his demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Major Tony Lawrence is promoted to the grade of Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force, effective 1 April 2019, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Now we'd like to invite Shannon and Megan up to pin on his jacket.
He just passed him some lieutenant.
I don't care as long as they get the paycheck right. I can care. I have to tell a story on Megan here. When we've since done some dry runs, but when I pinned on Major, she didn't take my captain rank off. She just pinned my major rank on with it. So there for a few seconds, I was an 07. I think this one's going to do a lot better.
She's like, maybe.
It's a bit nervous.
I'm not paying attention. There you go. He goes to the, yeah, that's good. Megan, you win.
I didn't think it'd be Shannon bringing up the rear.
Good job.
So we've got a major select in the audience today, and I feel a lot the same way about him as General Miller does about me. I'm not quite old enough to be like a dad to him. I'm so proud of this guy right here. You know, a big part of your success is being surrounded by amazing people. So I hope you all appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now for the epaulets, I'll invite General Miller and Colonel McNamara out.
It's a competition.
So hers part of the Wilson.
You got this, boss.
You almost had it.
There's another guy here that I think really highly of as well, and that's Captain Nick Carroll. He's our photographer today, so I hope when the time comes you'll wear that. Appreciate it.
All right, now General Miller will administer the oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Lawrence, you have the floor, sir.
Well, first and foremost, let me start by thanking God for allowing me to be here today. I've certainly been blessed with a better life that I could ever imagine or I could ever deserve. I'm just surrounded by amazing family and friends, and have the privilege of getting up and going to a job that I love almost each and every day. Except here in Palmville, it is still so awesome. I'd like to start by thanking Major Select Munson for putting all this together today. My daughter Megan for the national anthem. I debated on whether or not to let her do that because I tend to get a little misty-eyed when she sings, and then of course General Miller kind of had to pile on with that comment about being like a son to him. But I held it together. Kenny, my brother Kenny. He's not really my brother. We kind of look alike, so nobody really questions it. But I think of him as a brother. Thank you for doing the invocation. Nick, again, thanks for doing the photographs for today. Nick is an aspiring professional photographer, does amazing work. So check him out on Instagram, Nick W. Carroll. And then thank all of you for coming out on a Saturday, taking time out of your weekend to be with us. It was, as I was sitting down to make the attendee list, it occurred to me just how many people we have in the area that we've crossed paths with. And so rather than shotgun out an invite to the masses, we really went with a more targeted approach. Sometimes there's some risk involved in that, because if people don't show up, it can get awkward real quick. And so I thought, that's okay. I got a general officer presiding. Usually that's good for a rent-a-crowd. But since we're not doing it during the work day, I thought, well, maybe we'll throw in the free breakfast buffet and everybody will show. And it worked. Everybody's here. Yeah, Kyle works lives 2 blocks down. I knew he wouldn't miss this. I wonder if he'd be out of bed at this time though, because he's a single guy. So, but again, thanks so much for coming. It means so much to have each and every one of you here. I'm going to try to keep my comments short because I know no one likes long speeches. But that's another great thing about having a small group, is it kind of gives you an opportunity to recognize every person in the audience. And so, I'll just start by saying that the group here is a perfect representation of my past, present, and future. People that have invested a lot in me to make this day possible. And so, if you're familiar with Simon Sinek, he often talks about knowing your why, understanding your purpose for doing the things that you do. And I can tell you that without question, my why is right here in this room. It's the people, it's the relationships, it's the sense of family. And for me, it's both the opportunity and the responsibility that I feel each and every day to pay forward the investments that were made in me. Mm-hmm. And so I'll start by thanking my presiding officer, Major General Miller, when I made the joke about drawing a crowd. But the reality is when I knew this was going to happen, it was an easy decision for me. He promoted me to major. As he said, you kind of develop that relationship between, as an exec, and I'm looking right at Vic, if you're familiar with being an exec, particularly at the GO level, one of two things typically happens. You either can't wait to get that assignment over with, or you develop a closer relationship with that individual than you will anyone else in your career. And as evidenced by today, that is certainly the case. He epitomizes servant leadership. He's the best boss I've ever had. You know, that was the best year of my career. Working alongside of him just inspired me each and every day to be a better officer, a better leader, and just a better man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also have to, thanks for everything, sir. I also have to thank his wife, Lori, who unfortunately was not able to be here today. Since I've known her from day one, she's been like the team mom, just always there to provide support, encouragement, brings in her famous monkey bread on birthdays and other special occasions. And then I'll tell a story on him. She also.
This is dangerous when you have somebody who knows more than they should.
She also climbs out of bed at 4 a.m. in the morning to run his BlackBerry to the airport.
Yeah, that happened.
And she did it with a smile on her face. Well, at least when I was there, you may have
when you were
gotten-
there, yeah.
But she, you know, she is just awesome, and I just want to thank her for her continued support, friendship. She is definitely the best, you know, the best part of Team Miller. There's no question about it. I also want to take a moment to thank some special mentors. 4. I've been blessed with some great bosses, but 4 really stand out in my mind. Colonel Rachel LaFave, Colonel Mike Glass, Colonel Kara Gormont. Those 3 wanted to be here today, but because of the geographic distance, they weren't able to make it. But I do have a 4th one here, and that's Colonel Select Sean McNamara. Now, the best part of this is I get to call him Sean in public.
For a few more months.
Start calling him Sir again. But Sean and I, we go back to my first duty station there at Maxwell. He's just someone that I just think so highly of. He's one of the best leaders that I know. And with every interaction, because I've got him on speed dial, and I don't care how busy he is, he works directly for the SG. He's always going to make time for me. He's always going to carve out that time. He's always going to give me phenomenal advice. And he, you know, has just always been there for me. And so I want to thank you, Sean. Man, I'm so blessed to have you in my boat. I also look out, and there's a lot of friends and co-workers out there. As I said, it's a great representation of my past, present, and future. I've got people like Tony Crane and his wife Meredith, also from our first duty station at Maxwell. Meredith is a civilian. She was also part of the team. She worked with me down there in the records room. My SG family, General Miller and Matt, Sean, Ryan, Nick, Becky, Shanita. We work together now, and I look forward to doing some amazing things together in the year to come. My engine room folks, man, I tell you, I truly feel like I'm surrounded by the best of the best in the United States Air Force every single day. As a whole, and when I say engine room, I'm talking about the panels too, because we couldn't get it done without you guys. Just feel so privileged to have had the opportunity to work with you guys. I truly feel like you are, as a group, the most dynamic, dedicated, impressive individuals that I've ever worked with in my career, and it's truly been an honor. Last but not least, I want to thank my family. And I'm not going to make a lot of direct eye contact, because my wife's a crier. But I also have to first include Kenny and Diane in that. Thanks again for coming all the way from San Antonio. You guys are family. We just love you guys. But to start with, my oldest daughter Megan. Unfortunately, mother-daughter Dory wasn't able to make it here today, but we've got a trip planned back to Alabama week after next to kind of share this with her and other members of our family who weren't able to make it. I'm just so proud of my daughters. They are just amazing. They're so talented, so accomplished, but what I'm most proud of is the people that they are. I mean, they have such amazing, compassionate, caring hearts. They're always putting other people first. As someone who grew up in a small town and never moved until I joined the military, I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to have to uproot and move. And so I'm just so proud of them. They never complain. it's crazy. They embrace the concept of service before self just as much as I do, and that says a lot when you've got teenagers and younger kids, and it's just truly amazing. I'm just so proud of them. And last but not least, my wife. She's my soulmate. She is my best friend. And I can tell you guys, when you find a woman that will text you in the middle of the day telling you about Auburn's recruiting class, you know you just hit the lottery.
Found a winner.
You just hit the lottery. But she, I always tell her she doesn't like recognition. She didn't really want this recognition. She even told me not to get her flowers. But I always try to make a point to let her know how much I love, adore, and appreciate everything she does. And so I always tell her, I say, thank you for your love and support. I couldn't do this without you. And she'll say, yeah, you could. But the reality is, and then I respond, the reality is, she enables me not only to do a job, but she enables me to do it with excellence. Because looking back on my career, there are several times when I could have taken a different path. I could have taken an easier job that required less hours, less stress. But she's always encouraged me to take on the biggest challenge. Go where you can make the greatest impact. Go where you can touch the most lives. And so, I just can't thank her enough for always believing in me. Nobody's ever believed in me the way that she does. And it's truly amazing. She's the one that makes this Air Force journey possible. I love you so much. So with that, I choke back the tears. Oh, I almost did this I did this at my major ceremony too. I got so caught up, I forgot to fly. So with that, thanks again for coming out. I just can't tell you how humbled I am that everyone showed up on a Saturday morning to spend this day with us, and I can't imagine it sharing this day with a more amazing group of people. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the ceremony